A badge of honor. Police officers and first responders wear badges to let their communities know they are here to protect and serve. But that's not how it feels today, and the stress of the job is taking its toll, taking lives through suicide and post-traumatic stress injury. A Badge of Honor podcast features the cast of the same name, Sam Horwitz and John Salerno. Sam, John, and the team offer the first responders workshops through their critical incident stress management teams and mental health liaisons to offer state-certified T-COLE credit programs that save lives. It's time to smash through the stigma. It's time to heal from your injury, and it's time to back our blue. Welcome to A Badge of Honor podcast. Here are your hosts, Sam Horwitz and John Salerno.
Hey, welcome to A Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam, powered by the OBBM network, man. And we are going to be changing it from Badge of Honor podcast to Badge of Honor TV real soon in our upcoming season 2 of getting mentally healthy on Mondays, man. Right?
Yeah, we've got a lot of changes. John and I want to thank everybody who has been tuning in, all of our loyal listeners. From the beginning, I feel like John and I were talking the other day, and we've been together with you all, like no breaks, and it feels like it's like 2 years plus.
I know.
And so we are going to come back at the beginning of the new year, kind of a rebrand. OBBM network has just exploded across the country. More TV channels are being added, and it's really because of you all and the overwhelming support that you wanted to see us. You want to see our faces, you want to see our guests. So we're moving into a TV platform come January. Well, I guess it would be January 6th would be the first show back, but in the new year. But don't worry, because if you still listen on your favorite podcast apps, we're going to be there too. It's just a rebrand to A Badge of Honor TV. We want to thank Rumble for having us on their channel as well. You know, everything that we've been through with getting some episodes kicked off YouTube and everything. We just got to a point where this is all about you guys, your support of the show, everybody's collective support of our first responder nation out there. And, we do this for you guys, and it's our pleasure to do this weekly, to bring forward and highlight guests and organizations that help, including families of first responders and the veteran space and everything. So 2025 will be an incredible year of growth and expansion, and we could not have done it without you all and all of your support. So a huge thank you for that.
Sam, you brought up a great point, and when we touch on some of these mental health issues and the battles that some people are fighting each and every day, we have to get down deep and sometimes really dirty with some of the language, not only with some of the paraphrases, and because we have to get real. And a lot of these platforms will not let us get real, and we can't heal if we're not being honest with you, and we're not bringing you the facts.
Yeah.
But some platforms just don't want to post that, and some are just automated, and they hear one key word and they'll knock you down. And that's why OBBM Network is so important to tune into them, because they are real. They are a real network that hits the hard-hitting issues and, will not censor you.
Yeah, and OBBM Network has gone above and beyond to make sure that the programming, which if you're watching on obbmnetwork.tv on whatever device, whether you're on your laptop, you're on your phone, whether you're streaming it through your TV, that's where most people are streaming it. We're in the Dallas network and still live now, but we get the replays everywhere. So, hey, Dallas, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. And then on that, having everything about OBBM Network, again, freedom of speech, supporting our first responders, and check out. If you haven't realized that OBBM network streams 24/7, there is a complete lineup. Whether you want to watch movies that are family friendly, and other movies, that some of them have been in the theaters, whether it's through the Angel Studios, which is really popular. A lot of people, Sound of Freedom, know that movie, but really 24/7 streaming. So instead of getting your news, not news, whatever you want to call it, from the big guys who, I like to think we have a small sliver of responsibility in helping them tank because of programming.
Well,
it's junk. It's junk. It's not truthful media.
Right. And it's all about the ratings, and it's all about paychecks and everything else. We do this 100% absolutely free for you. And but
we appreciate the support on locals. So if you're on Rumble, or you see it with the locals, the money goes for a good cause.
Yes.
So it's going into positive media.
And we had the pleasure of doing a meet and greet the other night over at OBBM Studios. Met some wonderful, wonderful people there, and got some great ideas. We really were able to network. The studio is so beautiful. They've really grown in size and technology, and it is going to hit 2025 running.
Yeah,
God bless everybody over there. They're doing some hard work over there.
For sure, and that's why tonight John and I wanted to come together again. This is the final show of what we're calling season 1, which we've had many. It just kept going. Right. I think we should be like on season 3, but there was so much goodness to bring you. But with that, or I should say, and with that, not but, we are going to continue to highlight, kind of what goes on during this time. I mean, John's been there. I've been there. John was December. I was December. And this time of the year is so hard because in November, we're thinking about gratitude. We're being thankful. And when you're in, whether you have post-traumatic stress, or just feel overwhelmed and burned out, it's hard to find something to be thankful for. And so you put in your mindset, it's like, F this. For me, it was, I'm not going to start another year just like I lived the previous one. And so it was so much easier to just, think about checking out. Because what was next year going to bring? A giant question mark. I just knew I wanted to get out of the pain that I was in. And for first responders, it's a control thing.
Sam, and this brings us back to last night a little bit. Mm-hmm. And this just sparks a thing. Last night, and this goes for first responders and the civilian world as well. When you think all hope is lost, right around the corner is success. And Sam, thank God Lucy was found. You lost your dog yesterday in the wooded area out in East Texas, and you thought all hope was lost. You searched for him for almost 8 hours straight, walking up and down, and I can't fathom the mental anguish you were going through. And this is just like battling post-traumatic stress. People go through these highs and lows, and you were going through such a hard time. And, if you would have given up, if you would have just given up, you would have never found Lucy. You would have been, I
couldn't give up. I couldn't give up.
Right. And that's the same with mental health. We can't give up, because once we give up and accept defeat, then it's all over. We got to stay focused on the prize, because right around that corner, right when it seems the darkest, that's when the light starts to shine. And that's what happened to you last night. Just as the darkness hit, man, the lightness came back, and there was Lucy.
And it's true. And I will say with that is I also was communicating with a lot of people, including you, and my sister, my mom. I mean, I reached out, right? So make the analogy is like, you've got to do the same thing when you think that all hope is lost. And it was a light, as in, a faith light, but it was also a literal light because it was dark, and we were driving down the driveway with the headlights on to go to a neighbor's who has young kids and a dog, to say, hey, we lost Lucy, and let them know, show pictures, be on the lookout for, like, I feel like it was like we put a bolo out for our dog, literally on Facebook. Thank you to the community. You guys know who you are. Just for our anonymity and privacy, I'm not gonna. It's out in East Texas. I don't want to say the name. Right. But the police department there was great as well. And something just said, go to the neighbors, and it was right then when we were pulling out. She just appeared. Right. Like, she just appeared. And, thank God for that. And I thank you for being there, because you've been there with dogs, but it was heartbreaking because I didn't have control over the situation. And a part of me, we've done a lot of episodes, in this season, with people taking faith walks. Okay. And I have two favorite episodes. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of them, but the ones that stand out recently, Terry Warner, and her book, Trainwreck to Triumph, which, if you have not picked up her book, you can go on Amazon, Terry, T-E-R-I, and Werner, W-E-R-N-E-R, Trainwreck to Triumph. Give yourself an early holiday present, early Hanukkah, early Christmas, which, by the way, Hanukkah and Christmas are together this year, so that's the best. I love it. So give yourself a gift there. And also, Jason Sautel, S-A-U-T-E-L. You can go on Amazon, or go to therescuerbook.com, and pick up his book. His book is on my list as well. And, for the faith walks, for stories that really grip you and can explain and help you get out of your head, just go to our website, abadgeofhonor.org. And there's a tab up there, books. And I put the books on there when we have guests on. And you can see all of the books from all the episodes that we talk to our guests that have books. Because when you can read about how somebody else navigated the darkness, it's another tool in your toolbox to say, hey, time out. Let me take a step. You know what? It's not take a step back. It's time out. Let me breathe. Let me grab on to somebody that did this successfully, and let me put another tool in my toolbox.
The majority, and that says it right there too, the majority of people think they're alone. They think nobody has experienced what they've experienced. And, it may not be the same exact trauma, but in relation to trauma, be it a visual that you saw on the job, a shooting, a stabbing, a death of a child, or anything in your personal life, be it sexual assault or domestic violence, someone else has experienced that same sort of emotional pain. May not be the same physical pain, but they've suffered that same emotional pain. Absolutely. And when you get to that point and you're feeling that emotional pain, reach out to somebody, a group, anybody, and speak your mind. Don't hold it inside. Once you hold it inside and you become a recluse inside, then that's when that steam builds up inside you, and you get that pressure build up, and you feel that there's no other way out.
Yeah. And when we come back from our first break here, let's talk about why we do that, because it goes to the identity of what we take on with the job. We'll be right back, everybody.
There's a quote that has inspired me to start my business, to do something different, to be a radical, I guess, in the wireless industry. We started with trying to help customers with their cell phones first, find ways to reduce costs, try to make it easy for customers to get customer service, to solve customers' problems. And with that, all we ask is that they would just order through us to do an upgrade or new activation just as they would in a retail store. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to go with a guy that's actually going to help you save money instead of going to a place that all you are to them is a ticket to their next commission? We're here to help. Dave with Outerbridge Industries, we are your bridge over troubled wireless.
Hey, welcome back to a Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam, powered by the OBBM network. Today we're doing a recap of our last year, and a little preview of our upcoming year on what's in store for Mental Health Mondays with John and Sam. Before we left, we were talking about the stresses that everybody feels within the holiday season. Be it a first responder, veteran, or a civilian world, we all have pressure. We all feel the same pain. Emotional pain, and we can get through this. And I don't want to say it's easy, but the steps you got to take are simple. All you have to do is reach out. That's the hardest part about it, is just opening up your mouth and speaking about what's bothering you. You'll be surprised how those emotions resonate with so many people, and they'll embrace your pain. They will take they may not relieve it all, but they will take some of that away from you and share that empathy and sympathy and share their story. And you'd be surprised how that starts the healing process.
Yeah, it's easy and, like you said, hard at the same time, because of our roles as first responders. We are there to answer the call when somebody is having the worst day of their lives. We are there to be strong for somebody else. We never think about not being strong enough to take on the world, but that, we have to logically reprogram that and logically, I think we do understand that we cannot shoulder the burdens of the world. We cannot. We're not strong enough. We need a team. That's why we work in teams, right? You have partners in law enforcement. You have a house, a firehouse, a truck, people that work on the bus, the ambulance, that bus in New York. That's what we called them.
Right.
And that's a habit that will never go away. It's like, get on the bus. No, not that bus, that bus. And so we're surrounded by team. We're surrounded by partners. We need to lean on each other. We've got this thing called, it's whether you're thin red line, thin blue line, thin gray line, thin white, you can see it in our background. Okay. I've got the flag right here. It symbolizes something that's supposed to be the line, as if we're holding hands together, the line that we built. We've got to rely on each other and that line to keep us strong. And that means we have to share with each other. And John, you do such a phenomenal job in our workshops, going over and explaining to first responders, like, hey, why are we making this concept so hard? If you can ask, hey, how was so-and-so's birthday party the other night because you had to work a shift and couldn't make it. Hey, how are you doing after that call? That was really messed up. I mean, we have the morbid humor, we use humor. So make a joke, but follow up. It's not just that one thing.
Yeah, we have to learn to read each other. We have to learn, we can tell when someone's happy or sad, but sometimes, and we're scared to approach the aspect of, oh, they're emotional. I don't know if I want to get involved. I don't know if, we have to. We owe it to each other. When I was in Chateau, I read probably my first and only book, from cover to cover, and it was A Suit of Armor, and it was about a gladiator who always wore his suit of armor, and it was a lot of weight to carry. and he would carry throughout his life. And he identified as a gladiator, and all us first responders do the same thing. We wear this suit of armor 24/7. We carry this home with us. We got to learn to take that thing off and let our bodies breathe, be it through whatever modality you like. I mean, exercise or walking or whatever you need to do. But that suit of armor has to come off, because if it doesn't, it will start to rust, because you're going to start to sweat. It's going to rust. It's going to be hard to move. It's going to be hard to breathe. It's going to be hard. It's going to take over your life. And before you know it, you're going to be stuck in that armor, and, no one's going to be able to reach you.
Yeah.
You have to learn the early warning signs. You have to, it took me almost 45 years to talk about the sexual assault. And you remember, Sam, when I spoke,
I was shocked because you didn't prepare me for that. I was like, John was on the stage telling the story, and, me and a lot of his friends and family are sitting out there, and it's like, whoa, what?
And you saw how emotional I got the first time I spoke about it, and I teared up, and I almost couldn't finish talking about it. But now we're talking almost 2 years later, after I broke that. I'm able to tell that story without crying, without emotionally damaging myself, because I vented it out and I started to heal from it. We all have gone through some sort of what they call ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, be it, abuse in some way, malnutrition, a single family, alcoholics, drug addicts, no food, whatever it was, whatever your experiences were. Once you start talking about that and start letting that out, it's like opening up that tea kettle and letting that steam out. The water's still going to be hot. You still may be pissed off or angry or upset, but you know what? You got to let that pressure out, because if you don't, it's going to build up. And what happens? One day you're going to explode. And, me and Sam and many others have been to that point where we've exploded. And thank God for some reason, we never completed it. Something intervened, a higher power, whatever it was. I know, Sam, you had your dog jump in your lap. I had passed out. And something says it's not that time. I was reading some stories not too long ago about some suicide attempts that have survived. And there was one that really took me. A guy jumped off a 75-foot bridge. I don't know if you heard this. He was on a podcast the other day. He was talking about, he was a veteran. He was talking about a suicide attempt. He stood at the end of the bridge and he jumped. The minute his feet left the bridge and he was going down into the water, the minute he left the bridge, he said, "This was the wrong idea. I shouldn't have did this." Now you think about how many people pull that trigger, take those pills, jump in front of a train. That last second of thought is going to be, I shouldn't have done this. Alcohol, drugs, they all fuel these bad intentions. So we have to make sure that we control ourselves and we don't get to that point. So, I mean, my drinking has tremendously stopped and curbed down, because I know that if I get to that point, the alcohol is going to do the talking, the thinking, and the emotional the emotional triggers are going to hit. So we have to work on each other. We have to watch each other on those points. We know someone who has stress issues. We want to make sure that if we go out drinking, all right, let's curb them. Let's watch. Let's make sure. Let's change the atmosphere. Maybe
if you know somebody has a problem, then pick a different avenue. If you can. I mean, look, that's another thing that we talk about in our workshops is the addiction piece and why alcohol. And when we come back from our next break, let's talk about why alcohol. We're coming into the holiday season. It's going to be free flowing. We'll be right back, everybody.
Excellent.
Look, when you need to respond to an aggressive situation to protect yourself, your family, or your property, understanding your firearm and legal position are critical. Officers know your skills are only as good as your commitment to training. So know what you're doing. So when you're in a vulnerable situation, we can count on your response. Whether you're a beginner or a licensed gun carrier, Carry in Texas offers basic firearms training, Texas permitless carry courses, license to carry, and basic 2A courses so you can understand the responsibilities, situational awareness, and learn the technical skill required when you carry your firearm. Go to carryintexas.com to find the right course for you. Join me, former United States Secret Service agent Samantha Horwitz, on the range for beginner basics, LTC prep, and range practice. Go to carryintexas.com today. That's carryintexas.com.
Hey, welcome back to a Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam. We are getting deep into our recap from the year and bringing up some new stuff for 2025. But with the holiday season upon us, many of us seem to slip down that rabbit hole, and it's unnecessary because this is the time to be thankful for what you have, even if you just have a roof over your head, even if you just got $1 in your pocket. You have to be thankful because in 2025, don't think 2025 is going to be the same as 2024. It's going to be different. You can change that. You have the ability to change it. And nobody else can stand in your way. You know, I was on our break. I was just scrolling through Facebook. And please, folks, do not ask for advice on Facebook.
Yeah, especially with this kind of stuff. No.
You know, I'm seeing things about, and it was funny, you know, the algorithms, they must have picked me up because then all of a sudden I got some posts on Facebook and I'm like, made me think. It's like when you say you're depressed on Facebook or you bring that out onto a social media platform in text, guess what? You're going to get the responses that you don't want to hear. Do not take that. You know, verbalize, make the phone call, verbalize to me or Sam, verbalize to one of our resources out there, speak to a friend, a family, a stranger. Man, walk alongside a stranger. They may think you're crazy, but you'll be surprised. You're venting it out.
Yeah, and you know, before we took the first break, it was a way to get it out is not numbing things by using alcohol, and of course, drugs is included in. Drugs are included in that. Sorry, English teacher. Drugs are, and it goes back to, you know, we've got this culture in our first responder background, especially with police. You can turn on any old Western, like before color pictures, black and white, and they go out, save the town from the bad guys. The first stop is in the saloon. And I was watching, I don't remember the show.
Probably Gunsmoke.
Well, no, that's that's what you talk about, your dad-in-law. Hey, dad-in-law. But I wonder how these people didn't walk around drunk all the time, because that's all they did was like pound the whiskey.
They did.
There was no water. There was no wine. It was just whiskey. Their tolerance must have been off the charts. But I know what it was. It was we were watching a Wyatt Earp documentary. But you know, they were marshals in the town, and so our culture, the law enforcement, the first responder culture, it's automatic. It's like you've had a rough day, you've had a shitty day, you've had a great day. Life is awesome. Bar.
Yep.
and it's, you know, when you say we've got to pay attention, it's a lot more difficult because we're not in each other's homes. But if you're seeing the behavior in the bar and your partner or somebody that you work with is like, they're leaving, then they shouldn't be driving. I'll just put it that way. They are clearly impaired. And this happens every single time you are out. You know, the conversation needs to be had. And I will say that kudos and bravo to a lot of our agencies out there, because they're treating the alcohol addictions different from the mental health, and that they're getting their folks into treatment. They know what it looks like, 30, 60, 90, come, and come back. Some people need a little bit more. And we've got to take that same approach to mental health. It's a health condition. Being not okay is a health condition, and it doesn't matter what it is. A broken foot, drinking too much, or you can't stop thinking about the kid that you couldn't save the other day. It's not any different. And we've still got that thing that the departments look at it differently. And we got to stop that. We must nip it in the bud, stop it. We've got agencies that won't report the truth about officer deaths, and we'll call out Chicago because they're the worst. They want to blame it on something that the police officer had going on in their past or a marriage. They don't want to face the facts of how many actual folks they've lost to suicide. And John, so we know this number is low, but there is hope because maybe the number is low, right?
Well, some of the reporting agencies out there, and these numbers are not exactly accurate because some don't report, but when you look at some of the numbers, we are the lowest now with 122 first responder deaths in 2024. That is the lowest in 5 years. And maybe that's due to the stigma is starting to break down. People are starting to reach out, and programs like a Badge of Honor and all these other programs are aiding and bringing awareness to this. And some of the commanders and some of the police departments are implementing some pretty decent mental health programs, but it's still not enough. We have over 900,000 sworn officers in the United States.
Right, that's just police. That doesn't include fire, EMS.
Right. So we're well over 1 million first responders just here in the United States. And, maybe 10% get the proper treatment that they really need. They're still, or deserve. There is still a lot of departments out there that are old school, or they don't have the resources. They want to help, but they don't have the funding. They don't have the backing. They don't have, their small departments. They're limited on what they can send their people to. There are a million reasons why, but Badge of Honor, where most of our resources, everything is free to first responders.
Yep.
All you got to be able to do is dial a phone or pick up
go on a website,
or go on a website and put in your name and do an email. That's the most that you have to do. And once you do that, once you put your name in, or once you ask for help, that's it, man. We got the wheel. Then you just sit in the passenger seat, let us drive, and that's it, man. That's all you got to do. There's no more work on your end except working on yourself and listening.
Or go on an app, because that's like the best. We've got great things about technology and not great things about technology, but the apps that are out there that will automatically connect you as well. We got to take our next break, and when we come back, I just had a thought of when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the experiences that we've seen with departments and how they're actually handling that we are a witness to personally. So we'll be right back, everybody.
All right.
Leftovers again? It's time for something we haven't had in a long time. It's time for something right. It's time to make the right choice. OBBM Network TV is always the right choice. Choose right.
We're talking about OBBM Network TV. That's awesome. That was a great commercial. Hey, welcome back to Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam. Soon to be a Badge of Honor TV with John and Sam. It's your Mental Health Monday, and that's what we're here for. Me and Sam take the time every Monday to do this for you, our first responders, because we love you. We We want you to succeed in life. We don't want you to go through. You do an amazing job out there for the public, and we don't want you to know that it does not go unrecognized. There are people that do not speak up, but there are people that love what you guys do each and every day. You make a difference in America's life.
Absolutely. And, we were talking about actual programs that are available. Like John said, you can go on our website, abadgeofhonor.org, and see what John Edmondson, the other John in A Badge of Honor, our NASCAR, which is all of the partners that we have on the website. And you can click on it, get immediate access, phone number, website, so that you are, you're truly not alone. But looking at the programs, or the way that, I think a better way to phrase it is the way that the departments prefer their folks to get help. We know of two different ways, and the easiest way to say it is through EAP and completely confidential without EAP. Dr. Tina Jekyll, she also writes for
Blues Magazine.
Yep. Sorry, the magazine, and what is it called again, John?
The Blues Magazine.
Blues Mag. Sorry, brain fart.
Mike Barron. It's the largest police publication in America, and it's free online. So you go to thebluesmagazine.com and you can read articles from all over the country about what wonderful things our police officers are doing.
So Tina is a regular contributor. John is a regular contributor. And she was on the show, and we talked specifically about her success in the sheriff's department, one of the sheriff's departments in Florida, getting EAP to actually understand a first responder's brain, so that they already have a record of success working with their deputies. And she also moved it forward into the response for officer-involved shootings. And that is where administrators need to look at people that are doing it successfully. Stop trying to redo everything. Okay. We're run by egos. We got to put our egos aside, and we got to look at the programs that work and piggyback off those programs, because the common denominator is uniforms and being human. Okay. And so she's got the record of success. And so we encourage people, reach out to Dr. Tina. She's on I think it's I'm going to butcher her last name, Jaekle or something like that. But Dr. Tina Jekyll, that's how you pronounce her last name. You can look her up. And then we've got so that's the one success story that we've heard with EAP, because when I was in getting eeped, it was a verb. It was not good. Okay. And we're still seeing that. We've seen a department go from contracting with a very reputable clinician source, highly competent work with first responders, and they did a complete 180, took it out of that. Now the officers have to go through EAP. Guess what's the one complaint that we're hearing? I'm never going to say anything because I got to go through EAP. Well, that's all you should need to hear to understand that's not a good culture change. And so you really, as administrators, from where the funds are coming from, so the city council, the department, if your city council people don't have any experience in law enforcement handling budgets for mental health help, they're not the people that you should be talking to.
Right.
At all, period. No, they should be reaching out to also gain the understanding of what is needed. But, besides that, organization in Florida, there's not a lot of EAP programs. Now, that's what we have seen. If you have a successful EAP program that is great with mental health, please contact us through our website, abadgeofhonor.org. We've got a little contact screen. Please, we'd rather be wrong. We'd rather be wrong on this. So if you are listening, your department has a successful EAP program, please, we want to know about it. We need to know about it because we need to put it out there for other departments to grab a hold of.
You know, Sam, you brought up a great point with the EAP. You know, in a first responders world, each day is a new day, right? And a lot of our administrators look at each day as, you know, a fresh start, which is great. The EAP, when we have a critical incident, and this is where people fail a lot of times, they look at the critical incident and they go, okay, we had a shooting, we had a bad incident, we had multiple deaths, we had a trauma, and we'll send somebody. We fail to look at the compounded trauma over a span of a career or a span of a couple of years. You know, yes, it's a new day, it's a fresh day, but that trauma from yesterday, from last week, from 3 weeks ago, from 2 years ago, it's still sitting there. And what we also fail is the human body has senses. All right. We have smell, sight, touch, hearing. We have all the 5 senses, and they can be triggered at any moment to make you relive something good or bad. And our administrators fail to see that. They think because you went home and you slept through the night and you came back to work, oh, all is well and good. But if you don't say, I'm still having issues, I'm not sleeping well at night, my eating is off, whatever it is, compounded trauma is something that is sorely overlooked throughout our first responder community.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's the understanding of it. And it's very difficult actually to understand it unless you're a culturally competent clinician that has seen cases of that over and over and over again. And there are protocols that address that, but it's not a one and done. It's not a critical incident debrief. You've got there, and even with the critical incident debriefs, because we just did one not too long ago, there's follow-up. And you've got to go out to the 3-month mark, because guess what? The 3-month mark is the key indicator. If you're still struggling with an incident, if you're still struggling with that incident that necessitated the debrief, well, we've got some more digging to do.
Yeah.
And that's again where a lot of places fall short. So you and I are both huge proponents of let the first responders go have a list. You know, the department should always have a list of culturally competent agencies, organizations, whatever it is, available, and they should be able to do it confidentially, not having to report through to EAP or anybody else. There's no paper trail. And you know, again, abadgeofhonor.org, just go on our website and take a look, whatever you need. And it just because your department says you have to go through EAP, don't think that you are, unless it's a mandate, which most of the departments are not mandates. It's just written in their policy. F that, man. Your life matters more than what some manager says you have to do. So, you need to do you, as John always says, do you, and get the help that you need that is personal to you, because you will realize it works for you. So when we come back, let's talk about, we've had a lot of programs and organizations on this past season of what they offer in terms of help, because it's not just sitting on the couch. We'll be right back after these messages.
Rise and vibe with your new elevated morning ritual. Meet Rise by Frequence. frequency charged nutrition. Rise is formulated with a blend of 7 different organic mushrooms, B vitamins, amino acids, and green coffee bean extract. Rise supports brain health, performance, and focus while enhancing mood, mental clarity, and energy. Enjoy the delicious mango lemonade flavor while giving your mind the nutrients it needs. Get charged up with Rise. Fuel your body and mind today.
All right, you hear about this every week, Rise and Vibe with me and John. And Rise is what we call a nootropic. Nootropics are believed to support healthy cognitive function, mental clarity, and overall brain health. Everything comes together in that delicious blend of flavors that's mango lemonade. It is incredibly tasty. There is no sugar, so it is keto friendly. And it is guaranteed to boost your mental performance, brain health, energy, mental clarity, creativity, motivation, concentration, alertness, and mood. This is like the best find for 2024. It is my pre-workout. I use it with a source, which is minerals that every body needs. Not everybody needs every single day, and for optimal performance. So, now it's Black Friday. And so if you go to a badgeofhonorhealth.com and you can click on, you'll see the picture with the Rise. There are a number of Black Friday specials, single available items like Rise and or Source, the minerals again. There's also a lot of other cool things that are part of Frequence's line. Rise and Source are part of a company called Frequence. So Black Friday specials going on now. Grab it while it's hot. And speaking of hot, because it's finally, I think, fall officially in Texas.
It's getting cold outside.
Yeah, and we're out of the 70s. I think maybe we got another 70-degree day popping up here, but it's Texas. We love it. Just when you think, oh, freezing, 70, yay. They've got it's for a limited time only. So if it's sold out, sorry, they've got the apple cider. And people are saying that you can actually make it warm and it's delicious. So a badgeofhonorhealth.com, Rise and Vibe with me and John. Pick yourself up a bucket. It's a tub or a packet of Rise. Now back to the show.
Sam, let me ask something with that. With you brought up another, because most of our bodies as first responders, because we eat like shit, we don't take care of ourselves. We're dumping caffeine down our throat. Dumping caffeine down our throat. So we are deplenishing a lot of our amino acids, a lot of our proteins. We're not getting proper nutrition. So you've been on Ride for a while, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday you had a stressful incident, losing Lucy.
No, we found her. We can't. And people are tuning in. She's not gone from the planet.
But you found her.
Away.
That moment that she was gone. See, when you don't have proper nutrition, you have mental fog. You have your thoughts and everything else are skewed. When you take this product, do you think this helped in your mental capacity to really think straight and think things through? Maybe if you weren't taking this and if you didn't have the proper nutrition, things would have been a little different.
So it's interesting that you say that, because you know that I'm all about the protein, try to eat right and everything. So because we were searching, it was over 6.5 square miles that I did on my own personally, because I have a tracker, not including what Steve did. And I think because of the Rise, I was like in fight or flight, right?
Right.
So I wasn't that hungry. Eventually, when I did eat, I did grab a protein bar, but I didn't have a lot of food. But I think because I had that baseline, my mental clarity to say, we're not giving up. We got to go see the neighbors. Because if I was existing on crappy nutrition, just putting loads of sugar in my body, and I'm the first to say, I love coffee. I love the taste. I'm not big on the flavors. Just give me really good brewed coffee.
Yes.
I don't put sugar in it, just a little bit of creamer that's non-dairy, because dairy for me is not good. But I think it had an effect for me to be able to like slow myself down. So hey, if you're going to get on a kick for 2025, make it a great one, but get it now while supplies last, because the sale isn't going to last. We're getting ready to wrap up here. Again, we want to thank everybody. We want to thank you for your support.
The time flew. Wow.
I know. Well, the first responders still need your support. All right. We have got an incredible lineup for 2025 in terms of our workshops. We've got travel and everything. First responders need your help. And you can go to abadgeofhonor.org. There's a blue donate button. Click on that donate button. Give what you can. If it's $1, fine. $10, great. $20, great. What you can. And it goes back into our programming. And speaking of giving back, we are beyond blessed to be nonprofit partners with Carry the Load. And we were chosen this year to receive and be a beneficiary. And this is a big changer for us, a game changer for us, because it will allow us to reach a lot more people and go to the departments that are outside of Texas to answer the call, because we've gotten several, and it was really it was hard on the heart, because we had to do things remote instead of being in person. So thank you, Carry the Load. Carrytheload.org, if you don't know about them. This being a beneficiary directly, you're saving lives, and you can't put a cost on that. You can't put a price on that. All we can say is, from the bottom of our hearts, God bless you. Thank you so much. It is, I can't believe we're coming up on the end of the season here. I'm just watching the clock, because we do need to sign off. Thank you to OBBM. Stay in touch with us on social media, because you're going to start seeing the rollout of where it's going to be. We're going to be live streaming as well, just like we do every week. So we're not changing that, but things might look a little different. So in terms of backgrounds and stuff like
I may even have a new studio.
we might. So to all the first responders out there, thank you for what you do. You have prayer warriors across the country. Thank you for keeping us safe in our communities. We are here for you as well. So please lean on us. For all of the veterans out there, thank you for fighting the good fight that allows John and I to do a show like this. For all of our active duty personnel that is spread out across the globe, and they continue to leave fighting wars that are just not talked about every day. We are praying for your safe return. Thank you for keeping our shores safe. And with that, John, take us home for our final of season 1.
Well, on behalf of a Badge of Honor and OBBM Network, we want to wish all our first responders, our veterans, a very happy Thanksgiving and a blessed holiday season. We want you around for 2025. And if you see a smoke and mirror program within your department, speak up. Say what you have to say and get it fixed, man. You have the ability to do that. Until next year. Peace.
Take care, everybody. See you soon.
A Badge of Honor podcast is produced for the OBBM Network podcast and protected under copyright law. For content permissions, please submit your request to abadgeofhonor.com on the content page. For OBBM Network programming information, please call 214-714-0495 today.